Hi everyone, SoulSilver17 here, and let me get first. Like usual, on this picture, and this is an unpaid video. Okay, I already posted a video, and it was about how this video was getting delayed, so I just immediately started working on this. So yeah, minute I got kicked out, as I did it. Um, you know, people are gonna ask Deku about how he controlled this, and this video is gonna be just an hour long. So I'm gonna kind of rush some things in, or I'm gonna try and make this an hour and 10 minutes long because it doesn't seem like I can do anything else but that. So I'm sorry to the people who love this series being long. It just seems like I can't. So this may be the last video until it's like 50 something minutes long or something. That's the way it seems like it's gonna have. I'm gonna have to do this. I do apologize, and yeah, I really am sorry. Even though I want this to be longer, I can't. It seems like I can't do it unless, like I said in the video, I would have to go onto my other phone and make videos in which if you guys want this series to go on, then I will do that. I don't mind doing that. Alright? Okay. So, okay, this is what if Deku got Cremation Part 3. I'm not doing no voices, so I'll say like Shigaraki and all that, but okay. Anyways, Deku walks into the monitor room. Everyone runs over to him right away, ask him all these questions about how did he do that? Like how could his quirk work like that? How can he be able to do something like that? Even though he has manipulation, it couldn't be that degree unless he's able to do it, because they said he has said that he has, hasn't had his quirk until he was 13 and all, so they, know that all. So they know that, but they don't believe it now. As basically Deku says, okay, one, I trained my quirk for the past 4 weeks and just trying to get the temperature of the heat low enough so I don't burn no one. Two, how I can do that is because of, well, I'm pretty imaginative. And three, yes, I have my quirk be, the late bloomer until I was 13. Anyone else got any more questions? As someone just asked about the flashbang and if he has any more items like that. As he says, yes, I do. The flashbang uses my heat from my quirk, well, the heat from the cremation and all that. Okay, so anything else? Nothing? Alright, then, done. Stop crowding me. Let's just go back over. As, All Might says to Midoriya, though, when everyone comes back over, he says, yo, Midoriya, that was a well done job. You did everything like a pro would do. And Deku just says, yeah, I know. It was the most easiest way that I wouldn't have to blow up the building. And All Might goes, what do you mean? Well, Bakugo's nitroglycerin sweat basically is like a taking time bomb with me around. So I try not to use my flames around him. So I thought, hey, go above and try to see if anyone's up there. So yeah, as All Might says, well done, Midoriya. As basically All Might just asks, what type of hero do you want to be? As he says, basically, the answer you don't want to hear. As he says, a villain. He goes, no, the opposite of a hero. A villain. No, there's another opposite, All Might, an anti-hero. He goes, why? He goes, oh, well, we haven't had one of those in years, actually. He goes, yeah. I mean, maybe the hero society needs an anti-hero, and I'm pretty much used to being kind of ignored or neglected. So, whatever, right? As Jiro Uraraka says, what do you mean anti-heroes? A hero who does what he wants. He doesn't care what people think of him, what he says. People can boo him, and he'll still do hero work, but for his own selfish reasons. Me, my own selfish reasons is protecting people, no matter, even if it costs me my life, and the cash, but mostly the hero work. I don't really care about the cash, but it helps. And plus, it's not like, well, people are gonna like me because of my scars. So, it doesn't really matter. As this is like kind of like freaking out some people because I mean they heard of anti-heroes, and then Denki says, but doesn't that mean you'll have to, you know, kill people? As All Might says, yes, some anti-heroes do kill people, but if you're careful enough, you won't have to do that. It's a last resort. As basically Deku just says, of course it's a last resort. Like, it is a last resort for Snipe to kill somebody. I mean, honestly, there's a bunch of heroes out there that are rotten to the core, crooked, and basically do things what they want without getting any in trouble because they're heroes. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of it, so that's why I'm gonna become an anti-hero. That's my reasoning, because people like them pick on the weak and all that, and it's just annoying. I'm done with that crap. As everyone says, really, I didn't know that. He goes, yeah, you gotta look in the back alleyways during the night. People get hurt or worse, killed. Even, well, let's just say something gruesome. Ugh, that's gross. I accidentally walked into that. And then All Might says, wait, what do you mean by, as then Deku comes, whispers it to All Might as he has a look of disgust on his face. He goes like, they did that to, the Yakuza. You get it. No witnesses, right? And he says, yes, I do. But still. Jesus. Yes, yeah. Never mess with them. So, after a few minutes pass, Mina, Bakugo, and Todoroki come in. Deku is just chilling on a wall, just like watching while everyone's just, watching other people's group go in. And Bakugo sees Deku, though, around the wall right near the door. As he looks over to his right, he goes, hey, Deku! And he goes, yeah? Nice job on the win. Cocky, Yeah, I know. Cocky nerd. Bye, angry Pomeranian. As he goes, shitty nerd. Shitty bomb boy. Nice one. Seriously, you ever call me that again? I will explode you. If you even get a chance to. Whatever. As, Bakugo just walks away. As Mina, comes over and wants a high five from Deku for doing such a nice job on the heroes, on their, combat. So he just high five her, and she says his quirk is amazing and all, and that how often does he work out? He says every day to her, and she goes, wow, and how long have you been doing it? He says for a couple of years, but yeah, it's good. So, while everyone else is watching as the other people work, and Mina's talking to Deku, but, All Might asks her to come over, along with Deku, so he does. As, Todoroki has been watching him, keeping an eye on him, because she's trying to figure him out, really. When the guy she saw, that was basically, saying, threatening the guy's life to what she just saw earlier, is really weird. So, yeah. So after that, Deku was named MVP, and after everyone changed, Mina, Jiro, and Uraka asked to basically Deku's number. And he just says nonchalantly, sure, why not? I could use more friends. As basically he gives them all his number, as they all are happy and, walk away. As Todoroki saw this, as, she came out of the corner, and she goes, so, making new friends, And, kind of like that, but a little more cold, just colder. As he goes, what do you want, Ice Queen? Or should I say half and half? And she goes, what do you mean? Basically, your dad's endeavor, Flame Quirk, red hair. your probably mom has an ice quirk, so kind of works for you. But hey, whatever, right? She goes, "You got a point." He goes, "Well, I noticed you only use your ice power. You could have tried to burn away the flames with your own, but either way, it wouldn't have worked. They're too hot for you. Well, even though I've lowered the temperature down, they're basically they wouldn't be burned away that easily. So tell me, why didn't you use your flame core? Why didn't you use your fire?" As she says, annoyingly, like, well, she's annoyed basically, she says, "I won't use his quirk. I won't use his fire." As Deku just says, "Aw, little Shoto doesn't like using Daddy's quirk." Well, guess what? It's not your quirk, little Shoto. Well, it's not his quirk, little Shoto, it's yours, basically he says. Just get over the trauma of what he did to mommy, and then, then get over the scarring. Accept the fact that you have fire and ice. If you can't do that, then you won't beat me. And she's like in shock of what he said. He goes, how do you know that? Nobody knows that." And he goes, "Aw, what are you gonna do? Try to stop me? Whatever." As basically he's kind of he walks away. She grabs his arm. She goes, "We're not done talking." As he says, "What do you mean we're not done?" "We are." As basically she tries to freeze his hand as it already melts. He goes, "Really? You're gonna rely on that weak ice? I know somebody who has a lot stronger ice than yours, and I can still burn right through it." As then next thing he looks at her as she's crying. Well, she starting her tears going down her face, and he goes, "Crud, crud, 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 crud." And he goes, okay, what's the one thing a guy should do? Okay, I'm gonna regret this, but he just hugs her. She just starts crying inside his chest as he's thinking about, okay, don't think about anything else besides your leveling, what you need to put your points in, and everything else. As all that happens, so as he thinks of how much points he has 15 plus then 4 and 4, 40. So he became level 48 as he gains 15 points each, and then basically combines those points together is 32. So he has 47. All right. So after her like calming down, and he says, "Great, I'm going to clean this tie." She kind of smiles and says, You deserve it." He goes, Yeah, I understand. I made you cry." And then, while she's like kind of like still trying to, she's calmed down a little bit more. She goes, "Why are you being so nice? And then you act like a jerk, and then you act like a villain. What's with you?" And he goes, "What? I can't be myself? Honestly, it's better off just to be yourself than playing the part that other people want you to play. It's more fun that way, don't you think?" Basically, he says that. And she goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Seriously, don't you think it's a lot more fun to be yourself than something else? Think about it, Todoroki, on the way to class. We're gonna be late." So, while they're walking away, we see someone that's behind a corner. Well, come from a corner that Deku and Todoroki walk past. It's Mina and, Araka. As Araka says, "I am not losing to her," and so does Mina. So, yeah, so during basically the lunch period, Deku notices something. He noticed that he has a title tab and then a abilities tab. Title tab, he looks for the titles as he has basically Pyromaniac, just like some titles that he didn't know he had. It just came along with it. As then he sees the title he saw, Ninja Master. So he goes to abilities. He sees stealth, like 3 stealth abilities: walking through shadows, detection, and using his flame as a teleport to get out of a sticky situation. He sees for cremation, basically, able to basically make the field area of the field on fire, which is as anywhere he's in, he's basically can make a field fire basically, and it'll give him a ×2 boost to his stats. He then can make animals out of cremation, and for another ability, he can basically use cremation to fly for a little. Well, he can create wings. He can get the attributes of actual animals, and then sees another one called Ring of Fire. Basically, it gives him a 3×3 boost to everything, along with the Fields of Hell. Basically, ×2, ×3. That's like an overpower thing, and then for manipulation, it allows him to basically use the flames to manipulate, into like any object or any item. Be has a little more power pack behind it. He's able to make chains, multiple chains at once. Basically, he can make them come off of his body easily and just spread them out. He then can even he can transform into a mythological creature with the cremation. As it says, so he'll have to hold on to the 3 swords as he does it. Transform that combines it. Has the words not working right. But, basically, he looks at it as he sees it's going to basically the cremation that can make animals, and then basically as the mythological creatures, dragon with manipulation. As he's thinking, okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, I gotta try this out one day. As then he feels somebody touch his shoulder as he jumps, and he has his arm out over the fire, a blast of cremation in their face. As they see that Tsuyu, as basically he says, "Jesus, Tsuyu, you really shouldn't do that to me. You nearly give me a heart attack, girl." And she goes, "Sorry, Midoriya, but it's almost time to go in." And he goes, "Thanks. But seriously, make a sound next time." She says, again, "Sorry." As he says, "It's alright." So, and, Todoroki saw that. So, basically, she sees Jiro go by. She, asks Jiro for Midoriya's number, if she has Midoriya's number. Because she says she doesn't know where he is. As Jiro gives her the number and all. As she texts Deku about the tie, as he says he cleaned it up. It was pretty easy, but yeah. So we go to Todoroki's family's house, as she basically gets over there and she slams the door to the house, as her brother or sister, Fuyumi, and then Natsuo, come over and says, they say, "Shoto, what's wrong?" As she just starts describing her day, as she says, "Izuku Midoriya is the most annoying, obnoxious, selfish person I have ever met. He acts like a villain, then he acts all kind, then he can act like a total freaking jerk. I don't understand how he do this. It's like he can be multiple things at once, and it is so annoying, I can't stand it. And plus, he beat me in our little freaking Heroes versus Villain test combat portion, and I have a feeling that no matter what I do, he's gonna be always better than me." As basically not Fuyumi and Natsuo are kind of shocked to hear this from Shoto, as then she says, "I'm gonna be," as then Fuyumi says, "Do you have a crush on him or something?" He goes, "I don't know what a crush is. Remember, I don't have no romantic feelings towards anyone, but I'm gonna go and train with my ice quirk, and show him that I don't need my fire quirk to beat him." Actually, just leaves like that. As basically Fuyumi and Natsuo just smile and says, "Well, looks like Toya's brother, new brother of ours, is causing trouble for Shoto." As Fumi grins and says, "I'll text Toya about it." As basically, he gets it. He starts laughing. He shows Shigaraki. He starts laughing, and then he talks about, and then even like Kirigiri goes and laughs at it, and he says, "I can't believe it, freaking Shoto Todoroki may fall in love with my freaking little brother." When that day happens, I get to tell her, "I'm your brother, and this is technically my brother, not by blood, because of what we done together." And plus, it's kind of it's like funny as all heck. But hey, I'm glad you two are happy. So yeah, as Kiryu kind of laughs at that. With all for one, he says, "I approve," because he heard it through the monitor. So yeah. As Deku tells his mom about it though that night, and she says, kind of mean of you to do that. He goes, I know. I apologize to it, but yeah. And she got me back though. She used my tie as a freaking snot rag. Has his mom laugh as he, says goodbye to her and he goes to bed. So the next day, the media's there. Okay? Yeah. The media's there and everything else. As, when they come in, as Deku just kind of walks right past them, doesn't even answer any questions, because he just doesn't care. He just, then, when one lady gets in his way, he tells her, "Get out of my way, or I'm gonna make you." Got it? As, she's quite terrified because he's looking at her in a pissed off way, so she backs off. Alright, I'm giving a minute, everyone. Alright, she backs off. Aizawa sees Midoriya, says, "Midoriya, don't stand and don't talk to them, just get inside." He goes, "Alright." As, she yells out that they just want to know about All Might. And then Deku just yells out saying, "Who cares? Just go away, you're wasting your time." Which surprises most people. Aizawa says, "He's right, you are wasting your time. Get lost." I know that's not how Aizawa would really say it. Well, I think he may say it like that, but I don't know. But yeah, anyways, after that happens, one of them does try to go into UA, but the security system activates. As everyone, when Deku gets in class, everyone's talking about them, and it just kind of just goes in his seat and says, "Oh, they're so annoying. Jesus, those freaking press. I hate them." As basically Kirishima, Denki, Ida, and Momo come over and ask Deku for his number. He asks why, and they just say because, well, Mina and Jiro and Rock are your friends. We want to make a little group just in case we all want to hang out and stuff. And he goes, "Alright, sure." As basically then he even tells him Todoroki's part of the friend group. Then I was like, "Really? You two?" He goes, "Yeah, I know. Surprisingly, right?" Ice, half and half. Doesn't really like me that much, but hey, if we can probably get along just fine. I'm like, alright. So yeah, after everyone gets into the classroom, Aizawa comes in. He says, "Alright class, I got 3 announcements. 1, I looked at everything that you did yesterday. It looked pretty good, especially you, Midoriya. You did an excellent job. Actually, you shattered my expectations." You basically combine teamwork with your coordination together, and basically you come up with an idea that wouldn't destroy the building. Excellent job. As then he goes over everyone's weakness and strengths, and he just gives them everything. He says next scene, we got a new student coming in. His name is Shinso. As basically Shinso comes in, introduces himself. Everyone introduces themselves to him, and he sits down after he wipes around the table and chair because they told him about Mineta and how he was. As he says, "Alright, got it." So yeah, after he sits down, then he says, "Alright, we gotta do basically pick out a representative for this class president. Alright, please do so and let me know when you're done." Alright? As basically, people start offering themselves to be it. And then Ito says, no, we gotta do this in a dignified manner. As basically then he does a voting system as basically Midoriya wins like in canon. But this time, he just tells them, okay, I only got two things I want you guys to do. Go beyond plus ultra. By that I mean by work till you drop, basically. Get stronger. And two, basically prove to everyone that this class can be the strongest out of all UA's classes. Alright? I don't want no weaknesses. Just pure defense and power. Alright? Yeah. If you understand what I'm talking about, then great. If you don't, then let me explain even more. I want this class to exceed everyone in UA. To make it seem like we can become pros at any minute. Understand? As basically they all nod. And he goes, alright, that's all. As Deku, starting to think about maybe he should go to Nezu for some, talk to him after lunch. So, when lunch comes around, Shinso, goes over and asks Deku some questions, but he does not activate his quirk. So he asks questions about, his quirk and his, scars on him and everything else. As Deku explains his whole entire story, even why he wants to become a hero. As he goes, man, dude, that sucks. But why anti-heroes? Well, we don't have much of them around anymore. Actually, any around. So, why not? Seems like a little more fun than for me. As he goes, whatever. So, yeah, after that, they get into the cafeteria. They eat their lunch. And then the alarm happens. Deku sees the mirror. Gets pushed against the, glass. And then, he has to use his... He sees the media, and then he uses a cremation whip. He gets over to the top of the exit as he goes, "Hey, everyone! Listen up! It's just the media!" As everyone's stopping, he's just talking, saying, "Look, it's just the media outside. Somehow they got in, and that's what the alarm is for. It's an alarm for intruders, okay? Alright, you guys can just calm the F down already. Jeez. Next in line to be heroes should have, be cool about this. But hey, real life things happen that we're not prepared for. So whatever, right? It's not like you guys are going to be prepared for it right away. It takes time and experience, that's all. So don't worry, over time you guys get it." As basically, he drops down, as everyone's kind of glaring at him, he goes, "What, you don't like it? Get out of here in a common, organized fashion. Understand me? If anyone doesn't, I'll make sure." They literally don't. I don't know. I'll just make sure of something. I'm not really in the mood for anything. As basically they all do. So yeah. He goes master negotiation, and then he gets points added to. He goes up by 2, so he's 50. He goes, alright. So that's 47. Okay, give me a minute. So he has he has 53 points. So yeah. He was at 48, he went up by 2, so 50. So yeah. 52. So Deku, everyone goes over Deku and says that was kind of harsh, but he says, hey, it worked, right? Whatever. I'm gonna go to Nezu. Tells about that, and he just leaves. And okay. So yeah. When he goes over to Nezu's office, he knocks on the door. Nezu tells him, "Come on in. It's open." As he comes in, he goes, "Ah, Midoriya. What brings you here?" As he just says, I need to ask you if you can do something for us in Class 1A. He goes, alright, let me hear it. As he explains how he wants to make Class 1A get stronger, but to do so, he needs to have the last period of the day to be open for them to go train, as he asks for some teacher or so to be supervising them, if possible. Because it'll be a lot more easier then for them to not go overboard and get some advice. And then Nezu says, "Midoriya, I'm sorry, but I can't." And then he goes, "Oh well, it looks like I'll just have to teach them all some new tricks and moves and try to give them my best advice. And if they get hurt in the future, it's not my fault, Nezu. It's yours. As basically Nezu says, "Oh, all right. Man, you're a devious child." And he goes, "Yeah, I know." As basically they go over a discussion of it as they agree to it. They get to use it every so often, just not all the time. So like once every 2 weeks. I mean, not one. Like in a week, they can use it all week long, but then they have to skip 3 weeks and then use it again that week, that 4th week. So yeah. So and Deku just says, "Well, I'm pretty happy that you fell for the bluff there. I wasn't really gonna train no one." And he goes, "Well, see you, Nezu." And Nezu just eyes are widened as he's seeing Midori walk out the door, as he thinks, "This boy's intelligence is better than mine. Probably even more better. My ego hurts a little, but I'm excited for this." So yeah. So he tells everyone in the class when he gets back, and I was pretty impressed by this. And then next thing you know, they're in the class. I mean, they do training. Deku goes up to about 65 because he fights multiple people. He trains his quirk more as he's exercising even more now. Okay, ignore that, please. I don't own that picture either. But yeah, that was by accident. So yeah. Anyways, so as the day of the USJ happens, as everyone's on the bus, as Deku has 100 and basically 55 points, as basically he increases basically skills. Give me a minute. Not skills. He increases stats. He gets strength 60, intelligence 70, resistance 60, dexterity 65, speed 59, and agility 62. All right. Okay. So after that, he does start to increase his skills a little bit more, like the new skills he has. But then he starts to notice on the level in the actually windows are starting to change. It started to like glitch out. And he goes, what's going on?" While he's on the bus, basically, as it's like multiple windows now, as he's in shock. It's like everything that the tabs were now are in different windows. And he goes, and they just all look different. And he goes, "Okay, this is really weird. Is the quirk evolving? Is something happening? I don't have time for this now. I'll figure it out later." And then he basically sees an items, and then like it says material, as all the materials he had, it's just in that materials item spot. He goes, "Huh, this is where I get my items, my materials for the basically the titles I got." So cool. So yeah, after like Suyu says, "Midori, what's wrong?" He goes, it's nothing really. I'm just kind of nervous and all." Bakugo can tell that's a lie, and so he's gonna say he tells himself he's gonna ask Midori what happened to him on the bus. So yeah, when they get there to the USJ, 13 starts explaining everything about how someone can go down the path of evil really as fast as they can go on the path of good. So they gotta be careful with their quirks because they can kill people easily. Deku knows this already, so yeah. So as soon as they enter the USJ, the doors close automatically, and then there's like a little beeping sound that Deku hears that it's a sensor basically, and warning system for him. So as the portal opens up, and basically a whole bunch of villains come out, and then Shigaraki, Kirigi, Dabi, and the Nomu. And Shigaraki says, "We are the League of Villains. We are gonna kill All Might. And for another reason, we are here." As Deku just sees them all, he goes, "Real villains, huh? This is gonna be fun." Aizawa, I can take them all down pretty easily. As Aizawa says, "What do you mean? There's about like 150 of them." And he goes, "So? That's a piece of cake for me. Just watch." As Deku snaps his fingers, and all of a sudden, the whole entire USJ circle starts to go on fire. Just fires there as it like fire starts to erupt in different places. As everyone's seen this, Deku's just walking down the steps already as Aizawa was distracted by it. And he goes, "What the heck? Is this from Midoriya?" Baku's saying, "What the?" Even Todoroki, as everyone at the village goes, "What's going on?" As he goes, "Easy." Deku just says, "You're trapped. You can't get out. You can't escape. And you're in here with me." And then all of a sudden, Deku's body is on fire. And he goes, "I hope you like to be chained up together, because that's what's gonna happen to you." And then all of a sudden, multiple chains start to come off of Deku's flames, as it just starts going all around each and every villain, just wrapping them up so quickly that they couldn't even understand what's happening. And basically, he just rounded them all up. As Dabi just in shock by this, he goes, "It looks like that RPG Quirk really did come in handy for him." And Shigaraki says, "Oh my god, that's awesome." Kiryu says, "Impressive." So Dabi goes up, and he says he'll take care of him. Well, see how far he got. So basically, Dabi creates 2 ice swords. Deku sees this coming, creates 3 ice swords. As they just start fighting right away, they just start hacking and slashing each other. Basically, Deku throws a freaking sword right to the ground, pulls it out, and then slash forward as the dragon goes near Dabi. Basically, he slashes right through it, causing it to freeze over, and he's just smiling. He goes, and he's thinking to himself, "My little bro really did get stronger. Alright, let's get this started then." As basically, they start hacking and slashing. Multiple craters are being seen, because basically Deku and Dabi are smashing each other into the ground. As then Deku's is being seen going down towards the ground, as Dabi's basically waiting there. As when Deku turns his body, he slashes downwards and Dabi blocks it. It's like they're just smiling. People are seeing. As Dabi says, "You're pretty good, hero. Let's crank this up a notch." As basically Dabi's as a fog starts to roll around Dabi and creates an ice dragon. His Deku just smiles, and then he just says, "Cremation dragon." And then he's starting to get covered in his own cremation, and basically the swords were turned into dragon heads, as basically it's 3 heads. As then immediately right after they both form, they start attacking each other, biting each other, clawing at each other. One is able to create wings and fly and fire fireballs at them, while one is able to basically use his ice to long range hit the dragon, the cremation dragon, in the air. As when it hits the wing, it starts to fall down, but lands safely enough then to make another fire blast near it, sent out towards it, hitting one of the heads. As basically then the ice dragon's head starts to reform, as basically both of them start to go back into collision with each other, trying to bite, and both 2 heads are trying to fight 3, as one of them is able to create fire and try and melt right through them. As basically it doesn't work. So basically they both jump backwards and breathe in as much air as they could, and then release all that air into their own power. As basically then, when both of the ice and fire collide, it creates a big giant explosion, in which, after the dust clears out for a few minutes, Deku and Dabi are basically locked together, basically trying to push one person forward. Sorry, I'm just trying to rush this so badly. I am very sorry. But yeah, he's trying to push forward and all and everything, and basically it's like they're locked. They won't move. As Dabi jumps back, he goes, "Not bad, hero." As basically Davi's just kind of mumbling, as Deku understands, as he nods. As he nods by saying, but holds his head down for a few minutes, and he says, "Let's end this." As basically he creates his fist in cremation. As basically they both, as Dabi does it with ice, as then they both run towards each other, and he throws a punch. Both of them throw their punches collided as an explosion happens. right when they did that, Aizawa was already on the way, come and try to go to Deku, try to, save him. But by doing so, when they collide, both of them are sent flying. Dabi to Shigaraki, Deku to Aizawa. He was able to land safely, and he goes, I didn't expect this freaking ice court to be this strong. It gets stronger when he says out loud. Aizawa just tells him, Doria, that's enough. As Shigaraki says, how is he? As Dabi says, he's strong, he's holding back. I figured he would, he doesn't want to kill me. As Shigaraki says, so our little brother is very powerful. He goes, are you mad? He goes, I'm actually excited. We don't need this then. But I must put on ad. He goes, he starts scratching his neck. Basically, he goes, not fair, not fair, not fair, not fair, not fair. Basically, he would do his temper tantrum in the original. As basically he says, if you can't beat him, then how can this thing beat him? Basically, what you just done showed that this number isn't even useful. As basically, All For One was cheering on for Deku, and then, saying like, go son, go, beat him. Basically, all that. I forgot to mention that. But anyways, Shigaraki touches Nonomu as it screams out in pain as it turns into dust. He tells Kirigiri to open up a portal, as basically everyone goes through it, as Dabi just says, see you later, hero. And, he leaves. Shigaraki says, well, we'll be back with a better strategy. All that. So, yeah, as everyone, Aizawa calls in more heroes and all that, the police, as All Might comes in and asks what happened, as he, basically he asked Deku before the police could come over to release the fire, as he did. And basically he does tell All Might everything what happened, as Aizawa says, are you sure we can't make this kid a pro? He's too powerful. As basically Deku realizes he has objectives and, all that. And he's hearing them talk about making him pro, as All Might says we can't. He's still a student and he's way too young. He goes, I know, but still, he's just way too powerful, and plus, I like the kid a lot, so why not? I asked. I asked, and he goes, yes, I understand, Aizawa, but still. So yeah. So, basically, Deku, sees what he needed to do for the daily activities that he just realized he got, as is take down 20 people with chains, fight, get into a heated, use dragon cremation for the very first time, and hold it for about 15 to 20 minutes as the fight went on for at least 30. With that, I know I could not give much details because of this freaking low storage thing. It's just effing over me. So yeah, I do apologize, everyone. But yeah, as that happens, after that, Aizawa does tell everyone while they're there, okay, you guys are gonna have a 3-week break. Then do this and train for the sports festival, alright? As they are, alright. As then, everyone looks at Deku and goes like, what the heck was that? As Bakugo says, what the hell, Deku? What the heck was with that dragon? And he goes, well, I was thinking about it for a while, and I thought maybe I could create one. As basically, he tells him how he uses flame manipulation plus his cremation to be able to do it. As basically, Bakugo just says, oh, wow, that's amazing. He goes, yeah. So, after that all happens, he gets home, he eats dinner with his mom and that, he goes to bed. He sleeps in because he overexhausted himself a little bit. So he sleeps until 11. He says, he gets out of his room, goes into the living room, sets kitchen, and says, hey, morning, as, she's gone. It's basically a work day for her. And he goes, I'm all by myself in a house. Well, the place to myself, basically. I can do anything I want. As then he says, nah, I'm just gonna go out. As basically he makes his breakfast, gets changed, and eat, and all that, and then goes out. He basically walks around for about a good 45 minutes, and then he hears a voice saying, "Is that how you treat your big brother?" And then when he turns out, he goes, "Bro!" As he just hugs him. He goes like, "So, how was that yesterday? Did I do good?" And then Dabi says, "Of course you did. You got a lot stronger. Stronger than I ever suspected. That 11 quirk really does that. So that RPG quirk of yours really does help you out a lot." He goes, "Yeah, I got all these different skills. I think the quirk even evolved. I mean, I gotta tell you all this, but I mean, I don't got anything to do today, so want to hang out?" As Dabi just says, "Yeah, sure, why not?" As basically while they're talking, they say we can go to the arcade, then to a restaurant, then go to a materials store to find some materials I need for basically some new gear. As he tells them about the forge and all that. So on the way to the arcade, he tells them about the items and then the materials, about how the windows are separate and everything, and it's just like really crazy, and like the forging seems like a lot more powerful now or something. As basically he tells them about the wiring that he got for. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. He got like a trickster title that, and they gave him like a blueprint for like wiring that allows him to use in any situation to trap people or to like use it to go to building to like scale buildings even faster. So yeah, I forgot about that, and that's the reason how we got to level 68. I do apologize. So yeah, anyways, Dabi's pretty cool at that. As they play games, and as they go to the restaurant. As basically they talk and eat about everything that they've done so far. As Deku says, "Wow, so you've been in a lot of crime lately." He goes, "Yeah, but hey, we haven't got caught yet. And besides, the boss, that's not the kid, the guy with the hands, seems to like you a lot. He doesn't want you to join us. He just want us to observe you, since he's the one who gave you the quirks and all." And he goes, "Tell him I said thanks." He goes, "I will. Anyways, you done here?" He goes, "Yeah, let's go." As Deku pays for the meal, and they leave. When they exit out the restaurant and walk for about 10 minutes, somebody passes them that Deku isn't paying attention but just talking to Dabi. As this is Todoroki, she notices them hanging out. As she goes, "Why is Deku hanging out with a villain?" So she follows them, as she's like kind of like a little bit behind so they can't hear him talk. But then like Deku and him goes into a shop, as like she's like outside it. She basically hearing them talking about like materials and all that, how this is good for this, and it's kind of weird. It seems like they're brothers and all that, and it's just kind of freaking out. Kind of freaky to her a little. As basically Dabi says, "Hey, I recognize this place. This is that new store that I heard about. That this guy can get anything you need, any materials, anything, information." As then he basically the guy at the counter says, "Yeah, anything you need, I can get. So you need anything, bud? Anything, guys?" He goes, the Deku just says, "Just these for me." And then he looks at the guy behind the counter, looks at Dabi, says, "Nah, I don't need nothing, but hey, is it true that you can really get anything?" He goes, "Of course. I think I got this store." That's true. Yes, alright. Well, you two have a nice day. As Deku says, "I'm gonna come here more often now." He goes, "Yeah, me too. And get some information on some heroes." And he goes, "Why, to kill?" He goes, "Kinda. More like just to make sure they don't do anything stupid to any civilians." And he goes, "Wow, you're acting like a hero. Sure you aren't the same old Dabi I knew?" He just starts laughing. He goes, "Shut it." So they walk for a little bit more, but then they stop at a park. Deku stretches and says, "Okay, let's start the forging." Okay, so he starts to get the window up for the forging as he places the items into the window for materials. But he basically presses on the materials in the items window, and he puts them in. As then he then starts to forge the wiring and the. Oh yeah, I forgot to say like he even got like some armor that allowed him like to go underneath the jacket for extra protection. So yeah, sorry, I'm messing up a lot because I'm trying to rush this a little because I don't want to run out of space. So yeah. So anyways, as basically he makes all this, and then he combines it with his gear that he already has, and he goes, "Cool." So I got the jacket that you bought me, combined with this and this, so it's a lot more durable. Basically, my hero costume. And then he says, "So, what's gonna be your hero name?" And he goes, "I don't know. I'm gonna try to keep it with my quirk, so how about Inferno?" And he goes, "Nah, how about..." He says, "How about, Helltaker or something?" I don't know, man. I'm not good with names. But anyways, it's good to catch up. Let's do this again, like, in next week or something. He goes, "Yeah, let's." And then after Dabi leaves, Deku grabs the bag, throws it away in the recycle, and next you know, he goes over back to his house. Todoroki is saying to herself that she's gonna need to keep an eye on, she's gonna keep an eye on Deku for this part, because it seems very suspicious that he knows this hero. So, and it's just really weird. So yeah. Okay. Hold on. I need to try to figure out when I want to stop. Okay. So I'm gonna keep it going. Anyways, so a couple weeks pass. Deku has, not a couple weeks, a couple of days pass. Deku has been training his body and muscle and a little bit of his cremation outside of his apartment. As basically, he's starting to realize that he's getting more tasks to do as he's starting to do them. Some saying like help out clean the house, go outside for a take-care run, do push-ups, sit-ups, just basically stuff that he normally would do on normal daily life. It's just like really weird, but it turns out it's actually kind of helping him level up a little bit more. So yeah, he's okay with it. Deku, meets up with Dabi as like Todoroki kind of keeps an eye on, goes out and tries to find them as they go out to different places. As then basically he basically hears Dabi says, "So, how's the quirk that you got? How's the quirk that you were able to get?" He goes, "It's pretty good. I mean, seriously, the cremation quirk is very strong, all that. But, it's just that with the added boosts that I have, seems like this is gonna be too easy in the sports festival and all that crap. I may have to just lower myself to people's standards." As she's saying, "What? God, what does he mean?" I gotta listen to more. She's getting closer as Deku says, "Great company, let's go." As basically Dabi says, "Yeah." As they just start running. As then Todoroki tries to start to follow them. As basically Deku grabs out his jacket for his hero. And then he activates the strings. As basically, Dabi says he'll go this way, as Deku goes up above on the rooftops. And basically they go their separate ways. Which Todoroki loses both of them, saying, "So he got that quirk. He must have stolen it from my brother." That's what she thinks of, because she has came to the conclusion that Toya, that was that was Toya's quirk. That seems like it now. So that seems like it. But yeah. So overall, after that, Dabi and Deku says they're not. Deku texts Dabi saying let's not meet him for a while. Besides, I gotta train more. So yeah. So after all that, training, he keeps on training, and when it's time to come back to school, he goes. He sees Todoroki, and because he even looks at his phone because he kept it off all that time, as multiple people kept on texting him. Well, not really, but people texted him. As he says, as everyone asks, "Did you get our messages?" And he goes "Sorry, I kept on training nonstop. I didn't sleep for hours, so for the last week or so, I just crashed." I was like, "Wow, have you ever done that before?" He goes, "Nope, but it was worth it. I got a lot stronger." As he just starts stretching. As basically he looks at his phone as he sees, like, saying, hey, you want to hang out, you want to train, you know, all this stuff. As then he sees Todoroki saying, I know what you did, you took my brother's quirk, and I may make you pay for what you did to, you know, Toya. As he just grins. He goes, alright, this is going to be fun. And very interesting for Todoroki. Maybe she'll use her fire. So I'll act like I took his quirk. Or I'll act like I'm him. Either way. This is going to be one interesting event today. You know, as basically everyone gets ready to go into the sports festival. As Class 1A comes out, as they see all this crowd, as Deku is just smiling, because he sees Endeavor, and he just waves hi to him, as Endeavor just kind of just waves, as Todoroki sees this, and she's wondering, what's going on? As he says, come on, little Shoto, you really don't recognize me at all. She goes, don't play games with me. He goes, fine. Think what you want, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna win this. You know, they all get in line, stuff, and Deku is supposed to be the one supposed to represent everything. You know, so he goes up and gives a speech. He goes, well, I only got a few words to say. Do your best, because no matter what you do, I'm gonna win. Because one reason is, I'm just gonna have fun. And that's the only reason why I'm gonna win. So, do your best, guys. Go plus ultra. And then he just leaves off the stage. So yeah, everyone kind of like claps for him. A little bit, people boos, but no one really, you know, harasses him. Shinso says that was a good speech, along with Uraraka and Jiro. Even Mina, as Bago says, I could have done it better. He says, then Deku says, you just say I'm gonna win, and you're all a bunch of extras. And he says, kinda. And Deku just laughs, while Todoroki's glaring at Deku, as he can feel her icy gaze on him. He goes, hey. And then, you know, after, like, they announce, like, the Midnight says she's gonna, like, spin this wheel and see which event you're gonna have to do, as she does. And it is the obstacle course, as, you know, basically Todoroki's keeping her eyes on Deku, as he just says, well, too bad you don't have your camera. You could take a nice picture of me today. She goes, whatever, you're gonna lose, you villain. He just says to himself, jeez, this girl's freaking nuts. I kinda like it. And so, yeah. That's where I'm gonna leave it off, everyone. I'm not gonna go on anymore because I'm afraid if I do, I'm gonna run out of space. So, the next part, I'm gonna try to make it an hour. I'm just not doing it this time because it's gonna run out of space. So yeah, I believe it. Anyways, I'm gonna upload this video right now because it's 2:41, and then I'm gonna hit the sec. Alright, bye. You guys have a nice day or night, wherever you are. Be safe.